lineage, and they have the ancestry, and they have everything to back it up, right? Can I ask you about, because someone mentioned earlier, when reclassification was introduced,
Hold on real
and
fast,
they
sister.
had limited options for people
Hold on
to
real fast.
choose,
Hold on real fast
do
first,
you
real quick.
believe it was a possibility that a lot of
I'm sorry to cut you
African
off.
Americans, I'll just call them that, but you know the people I'm referring to, the people that came over or whatever, just the black people in America at that time. Do you think it was possible for those to falsely identify? We're excluding the ones that actually do have Native family, have a correct connected lineage, had that history, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think it is possible for other black people in America at that time during that reclassification era and having limited options to choose from? Do you think it is possible for them to falsely identify as Native just because?
Yeah, like for instance, in my family, my mother, my mother's family, and not just them, but her family before her, it was like 12 to 15 of them. And out of all 12 and 15 of them, including my great grandmother and grandfather, my grandmother was labeled as mulatto. My grandfather was labeled as black. Some of his kids were labeled as white. Some of his kids were labeled as black. Some of his kids were labeled as mulatto. Okay, all in one family. Do you get what I'm saying? And at that particular time, when it comes to the classification and race thing, it was more about the nations and stuff that of the people who weren't really the nations of people, that were putting people in a place to where they were actually selling the Native American identity to people who could benefit more from it. You get what I'm saying? Like, for instance, when some people look up their ancestry and stuff, they will see white tea people on there. But then come to find out, it's actually their people. Okay, for instance, if I was to come to to wherever your area is, or someone to come to your area, and then at night, without your knowing it, they were just trying to come and hurt you or in your family, right? I'm not gonna look. That ain't gonna happen because I will come. Okay.
What up, Captain Cheatway?
Just imagine you had to just basically leave what you had to leave, which was your life and your kids or whatever, your family. Okay. Imagine how much you had left behind. You left behind family heirlooms. You left behind documents. You left behind your whole home. Mm-hmm. Imagine the people who did that to you took over that area. And there's proof of it. There's proof of the fact that when it came to all these major cities, they were governed by people who look like me and you. And how they did it was like, okay, so have you ever seen Lovecraft Country?
I haven't seen it. I didn't finish it, but I have seen it.
Okay, so you've heard of sundown towns and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
So what happened with that was the fact that as things were happening, you would hear about these Trail of Tears or these Black Wall Streets that happen. They happen in different areas at different particular times, even though they were close together, right? So say like you were the family that lived in Huntsville, Alabama, and I'm the family that lived in Jackson,